Hello, so I'm here to get the true ending for this game. I've gotten all the CGs for all three girls. I'm into the Monika ending. By the way, going through that second part again where all the glitches are random and this time Natsuki snapped and like charged at me and it was like end. I was like, yo, like it's way more dynamic than I thought in that part. Shout out to Alexander for mentioning that before, but to see it for myself, it was actually crazy, man. I can like even if you play this game and then watch someone else play it, you can get like some just spooked at different places, man. But as you can see, it is just Monika right now. I was thinking of talking to her for a little bit. I didn't take the opportunity to do so last time, and yeah, so pretty much my plan is to see what this ending is, and then to watch the game theory video. So that's all gonna be in this part right here. So let's see what else Monika has to say to us. Said she likes the sound of rain. You know what? I can agree with that. I don't like being in the rain. It's just more like a. That's why listening to rain on like YouTube is so calming, right? Exactly. I'm sure you do, Monika. No, of course not. Of course not. Of course. Let me just stare into her eyes a bit more. He has nice eyes. You know, silence is underrated. Makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Oh, really? Yeah, we could do that. Uh-huh. Skirts and bows. I mean, that makes sense. She has a very large bow in her hair, actually. Has to be hard to maintain. Bookstore is nice. A chocolate store. I don't think I've ever been to a chocolate store. Of course. Actually, the movies is a horrible place for a date. Like you're just sitting there, like nothing to talk about, nothing to do. It's just like a place to go to say you went on a date. It should be like part of a series of events. Like maybe you go eat first, you talk a little, then you both go see a movie you both enjoy. Like to like just go see a movie seems like a wasted opportunity. I've realized. I'm sure you will. Yet more staring. So I do know that my chat was very helpful. My patrons, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I'm not able to stream this part because my internet's acting up today, but I am going to finish it now. There's not too much left to do, so it's fine. But yeah, I'm going to delete Monika and then see what happens. Because apparently after getting all the CGs and doing that now, something will happen. So I'm looking forward to that. Really. Yeah, I think that's the misconception. No, yeah. I can agree with that. I'm sure, but you know, mental illness is definitely a spectrum. Like my anxiety, for example, used to be significantly uh easier to manage when I was in high school, and I thought it was bad in high school and even in college, but in the last year it just accelerated on me, and it's insane that the level that your mind can just like eat at you and just make you think something's going on that you know logically isn't, but it's just the way it is, and you just have to deal with that. And there's a lot of undiagnosed people out there for sure. I know, right? Of course. That's good advice. Absolutely. Monica. Well, thank you, dear. You know, jump scare aside, which apparently she does if the game detects you have OBS open. So that's why she got me the first time, but jump scare aside, deleting people aside, which apparently feels like death. That aside, she's not awful. I know she feels supremely alone. The fact realizing she's in a game and that ultimately existence is just going to end and continue with the other girls confessing to me, Monika not getting her own ending, like realizing but still not being able to do anything against the game's script. Ultimately, well, she made something now, but of course we the player are gonna rebel on our own soon. What did Yuri do? What? No way. Sayori. At school? That's a little interesting. I'm sure Natsuki was. Of course. I'm sure it would have been. Right, yeah. I'm sorry, Monika. Of course. Even though it's very common. It's definitely a US thing. Have the drinking age very high. Although it is interesting because I don't really know the setting for this game. Like, the other girls have like Japanese sounding names and then you just have Monika. That's Monika. Would I introduce your friends? Of course. Wow. Of course, Monika, of course. Talk to her a bit more. I like hearing from her. I'd probably watch an entire video of all possible interactions with her. I wonder if that video exists. 'Cause I'm sure they wrote a lot. Like, it might even be hours long. Yep, it does exist. There's a 4-hour video of all her dialogue. Of course. This is true. Yep. True, very true. Wow. I mean, yeah. I've personally never had depression as far as I know, but it sounds horrible. Will do, Monika, will do. Indeed. That is a point. This is true. Just anxiety. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Monica. I feel a bit worse about what I'm about to do, but honestly, for Monica herself to say Saori isn't real, okay, I see where you're going with this. Of course. It's a very key part of adulting. And growing up, of course. It never really goes away, does it? Some friendships never reach that point, and those are usually just acquaintances. Those you can really confess to are pretty far and few between, but to make me feel a little less scared and alone. No, this setting is exactly the setting that makes you feel scared and alone, especially since we're actually just alone here. I mean, I get it from her perspective, but for the player, it's like this is the game now. This is all there is. There is, and Natsuki is that. Of course. Oh, absolutely. Right. Makes sense. Defense mechanism. Yeah. Of course, Monica, of course. You know, the more she talks about Sayori and Natsuki and Yuri, and the more it makes me want to delete Monica. I sympathize with her for her, but she deleted them. And I know, like, she reveals she didn't really delete them, but I don't even know how to. If I could do the same thing for Monica that she did that doesn't truly delete her, I would do it. But apparently, I just have to do it. Monica's being very relatable, though. Yeah, but those are so impersonal. Just for hooking up, really. Yeah, that's true. Putting yourself out there is so important. Like, you just never know who you could possibly meet. It could be like no one, but it could be your best friend. You just never know. Yeah, exactly. That could be the most mundane thing to relate about. Yeah, exactly. Not really. I mean, you can't really miss what you don't have, and you can only speculate. Like, how would you even know that could be a person? Like, it could be someone you're very compatible with, but that's why it's important to just do your best and focus on whatever's important in your life at the moment. It's all perspective, man. I see what she's saying though. Huh. I guess you did, Monica. I guess you did. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That yeah, it's very true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, such as picking up a trade or no. Even rarer is having like an opportunity to do something like on the internet, for example, like, recording games or whatever, what have you. Very rare. Don't go for that. Um but yeah, there's definitely other opportunities and more opportunities to educate just about life skills. Yeah, exactly. Trade school. Freelance work, absolutely. You could learn a skill on the internet through YouTube and then start doing commission work for that, whether that's graphic art or audio editing. There are free digital audio workstations, free image manipulators. There's so much opportunity. I'm sure some do, but yeah, most people just want it's what they have to do. They feel they have to do, whether it's pressure from their parents, themselves, both, more factors. That is very true. Yep, yep, yep. I hope it gets better soon, Monica. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, they try in high school, but the main focus is just preparing for college. That's the mentality, not life skills, not things you should know. Just like how to apply to this college and what to put. It's just how many applications to send out. It's all very just standard stuff and does not take into account the people who are not planning to do that or just go straight into the workforce. I mean, at first glance, well, I heard otherwise, basically. I guess it did, Monica. And what an ending it is. I'm having a nice time talking to Monica. It's very chill. Wonder if her arms will get tired. I mean, yeah, very true. You probably would, Monica. Okay, that's good to know. Just being disillusioned with the world. Is that so? I didn't know that. Of course, of course. You're not that kind of person. Yeah. That's, you know what? I can respect people that make that decision. Fair, that's honest. Yeah, that's very true. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. If there was a such thing as karma, then and such thing as an afterlife, then humans wouldn't go to a heaven or anywhere. Not to get into that discussion. I just feel like in the grand scheme, it's all very like tailored to our experience as a human, and we don't take into account the fact that we just naturally thrive off the destruction of other species. Not that I'm like not that I'm like taking a stance on that. It's just kind of like a self-awareness. Yeah, exactly. And I even examined that in myself. Like the bigger something is, the much more hesitant I feel that I would do it harm or yeah, very true. What if that's how it is? Indeed, very. I love veggies. Uh, I'm really liking her more and more. I think we're gonna move on in a little bit here. I'm aware I can quite literally sit here for hours and speak to her, but if I had the time, I might even do so. I do remember. Messed up colors. Brilliant. Oh, is that what that was? Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, I'm sure. I've got my little game directory open. According to the little guide I found, all I have to do now is delete her. But yeah, I don't know anything else. Oh, what is this? Writing tip of the day. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, of course. You're gonna suck at everything you try for the first time, unless you're just naturally talented, but those people are very few and far between. It really depends on what you're doing. Huh. That's true. Yeah, that's also very true. Comparison is the thief of joy. Right, yeah. Yeah, set realistic goals, but goals nonetheless. This is advice I could take as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, Monica's very despite her desperation, which is understandable, she's very grounded. She's very wise. Almost like sagely so. She just gets it. Don't we all, Monica? I've always thought about that. People who are just their social persona, not to say they're being fake, but they're in their interactions with people are high energy and smile and very bright. Of course, I mean they're people as well, so they go through what they go through. Um, yeah, it makes me wonder, like being able to keep that up, especially if you also have like an introverted personality and you have to decompress after having interactions like that. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people would think that's cute. Like probably most people prefer like at home just couch chilling dates. To be honest, I don't think a lot of people like to go out as much. Of course, that's anecdotal. I don't know. I like to go places sometimes. Just not arbitrarily. I'm staring at her character file and I just can't do it yet. Change the music. The music is fairly unsettling. There should be. Oh god, what did she do? Defensive measures have been taken. Probably not, Monica. Yeah. Is she like because it doesn't seem like she really means that. I feel like she definitely feels guilty to some extent. I mean, yeah, she's disillusioned. They're not real, but they're as real as you feel in the context of the game. So it's like, because I don't know. It's like if we realize in real life that we were actually in a simulation, does that make our suffering any less like real? Like, I don't think so. So she kind of has to like twist her own perspective due to her desperation and just desire to escape. But she has to feel some kind of guilt. I'm gonna let her continue on this train of thought. Sure, sure. You know what? That's a good way to look at it. Like, sure, sure, yeah, absolutely. Because change the world. What does that mean in the grand scheme? Of course, like, and that's when you start like getting into perspective of the things like of what you can change. Like, you can change the life of someone in your family or a friend or do good for your own community, right? Like, we think of like changing the world on such a grand scale because it sounds that way, but like everyone has their own world and own view of the world. So when you affect another person, like that is changing the world, because that person's interactions with the world are going to be affected by how you treated them, whether that was positive or negative. So it's that's just like a whole perspective thing for you. I mean, pretty much all this is perspective. Really, it's very true. Wow. I have a similar train of thought in that growing up, my mom sacrificed a lot for me to not have to really feel the effects of what we were going through. Uh and a lot of like my adult life has been like, how can I pay her back, right? Like, how can I give back to everyone that gave and gave to me? um I definitely get what she's saying. You know what, I really agree with that. These are very real trains of thought, you know. I give a lot of props to the people who wrote this. I don't know if Dan did this himself, but this is nice. Yeah, I felt a little bad about not being able to just listen to this dialogue here. You will, you will. That's fair. I'm sure there's people like that. Absolutely, change never stops. Yeah, I even feel that way about how I was in college. You know, that never really goes away, does it? I don't know what it is about me not being able to just do it yet. I think because part of me feels like things will end very quickly after I get through this, because this is basically the end. No, definitely. I never made fun of Monica. I just always like found her to be scarily meta, and I made sure to mention that a lot. That's funny. She just really likes saying that. You know, I don't read as much as I used to. In fact, I really don't read much at all these days. Yeah, it really is. I read so much as a kid, so much. Yeah, especially these days, man. Like with me having my desktop and even audiobooks, it's just to like sit down with a book. Like it's crazy how like my mind is just warped into this like constantly having to have something playing, whether it's music or a podcast or a YouTube video or playing something or watching something. Like I'm constantly just in a state of just consuming visual and audio like stimulation that it's almost no wonder my anxiety has accelerated in recent years, right? I agree. You know what? I did in the past year I have read a book series. I read the Red Rising trilogy, which is partly a lie cuz I got halfway through the last book, I believe. Either halfway or a little over halfway. I still have to finish it. But it's pretty it's good. Um I don't consider myself having like a super refined taste in things in general. Maybe in like music, maybe just because I that's like my thing. But as far as like books and movies and anime, I won't say my standards are low. I just very much it's easy for me to get immersed. I don't readily see faults unless it's like just jarringly stupid. Yeah, that was a good trilogy. But yeah, other than that, I don't really read so much. I agree with her though. It's very nice. You know what? Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna do that tonight. We do have books here, but yeah. I don't even know how long I've been talking to Monica at this point. It's almost like time isn't even real in real life now. Pardon me, Monica. I don't mean to be on my phone while we're together like this. Is that what I say? No, this. I said this. Of course. When the mood is right. You know, I honestly I could probably go the whole 4 hours, but I think for the sake of the video, well, I think it would be very fun to keep discussing with Monica. I say that, yet I can't leave yet. This is cool. All the time. But it's weird for me, because I'm basically inactive on social media itself. Like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I have all those things, but I don't use them. I really don't. I'll browse Twitter sometimes. Although I have gone down Reddit rabbit holes before, so there you go. Yeah, you do need techniques to recognize behaviors that cause you to fall into those kind of states of being like if it's the middle of the day, don't lay down on your bed with your phone. Like just don't, because you're just gonna get sucked into it immediately. You're gonna open your apps, you're gonna browse through everything, and you're gonna lose the day. That could be useful. That's very that would work. True. That is important. I will, Monica. I will. Thank you very much. I like her more and more as time goes on. Thank you, Monika. Thank you. No, no way. You know what? I think with that being said, yeah, it's time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I know. It's not that. It's not that. It's the Undertale thing. I just have to see. That's fine. And that's what hurts most about it, that she can bring them back, but you can't do the same for Monika. You have to actually delete her. I don't know if there's a way to do what she did for them, because I don't know where the character files. I don't know if she moved the character files into a different folder within the local files. I'm sure the game theory video will tell me if that's the case, but we're just gonna go. Let's see what this ending is. Proud of her. So I'm guessing even at this point, Sari already knows that she's in the game. Why that's the case, I don't know. If it's just being president for some reason has that effect on whoever fills the position of the club, I have no idea. She's like surprised. I guess because we didn't tell her that we were planning to join. I don't know if this happens in the first time I did this. I'm just waiting, dude. Weeb. Here we go. Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, yeah, getting all the CGs. Make each and every one of them happy, comfort through their hard times, and get along with each other. Yeah, now that you're the president, so it is that, I guess. Uh-huh, that's right. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Oh. Wow. Whoa. So was that it? That was the special ending.
Can you hear me?
Get to listen to Monica's song again.
Hi, it's me. So you know how I've been like practicing piano and stuff, and not really any good at it yet,
We'll
like
see if anything
at all.
changes
But I wrote you a
from
song,
this point.
and I was kind of hoping that I could show it to you because I worked really, really hard on it. So yeah.
Oh man. I want to play this.
Every day I
Imagine the future where I can be with you.
In my hand is a pen
And
that'll
I'll write a
poem
poem of me and you. I'm telling you, the song's been stuck in my head.
The ink flows down into a dark puddle. Just move your hand right the way into his heart. But in this
World of infinite choices, what will it take just to find that special day? What will it take
just to
to find
that
special day? Ah, I love it. All right, let's see, because it's gonna show all the CGs now. I mean, it does that the first time anyway, but the fact that we've gotten them, I don't know if it changes anything.
When you're here,
They're not being deleted.
for them anyway.
They're not being deleted this time.
When I can't even read my own feelings, what good are words when a smile says it all? And if this world won't write me an ending, what will it take just for me to have it all?
Oh man, that hangout with Natsuki was was there's a lot of tension, man. Even in both with her and Yuri, like it was ridiculous. Very cute.
Does my pen only write bitter words for those who are dear to me? Is it love if I take your is it love if I set you free?
There's everyone. One thing I did notice while
The ink flows
doing the
down
poems,
into
especially in the horror part in part 2,
How can I write love
as I was picking choices for Natsuki and Yuri, I could see Monika's jump from the bottom left.
the sound of your heartbeat? What do you call love in your reality? And in your reality, if I don't know how to love you,
Alright, so is there anything else?
I'll leave you be.
I'll leave you be. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, there's a special player who achieved a special ending. For years, I have been enamored by the ability of visual novels and games in general to tell stories in ways not possible using traditional media. Doki Doki Literature Club is my love letter to that. Games are an interactive art. Some let you explore new worlds, some challenge your mind in brand new ways, some make you feel like a hero or a friend, even when life is hard on you. Some games are just plain fun, and that's okay too. Everyone likes different kinds of games. People who enjoy dating sims may have a heightened empathy for fictional characters, or they might be experiencing feelings that life has not been kind enough to offer them. Wow, if they are enjoying themselves, then that's all that matters. That goes for shooting games, casual games, sandbox games, anything. Preferences are preferences, and our differences are the reason we have a thriving video game industry. My own favorite games have always been the ones that challenge the status quo. Even if not a masterpiece, any game that attempts something wildly different may earn a special place in my heart. Anything that further pushes the limitless bounds of interactive media. I extend my true gratitude to all those who have taken the time to achieve full completion. I hope you enjoyed playing it as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you for being a part of my literature club. Love, Dan Salvato. You made something awesome, Dan, and I know I don't have to say that, but this was very great. What a nice treat for people who fully complete it. I like that this was added. Okay, so I guess there's nothing left but to watch the game theory video. So I'm gonna do a little reaction to that. Um, Let me see. They've actually done more than a few videos on Doki Doki. I'm assuming it's Doki Doki Decoded. I'm gonna look very quickly. Okay, I'm gonna assume the one to watch is Doki Doki Decoded based on the ones I'm seeing. There's Doki's buffest meme. I've seen the buff Natsuki. Monika Google's newest creation, Game Theory Doki Doki Decoded, and Doki Doki's scariest monster is hiding in plain sight. I feel like Decoded and Scariest Monster hiding in plain sight. I feel like these two are the ones to watch. But I'm gonna start with Doki Doki Decoded. Ooh, and the video even starts with Monika. Of course, I was wondering if they were gonna do something cute like that, just to make the meta point right off the bat. Let's orient ourselves here. I may still use my pop filter shield because I don't know what this could be, but I can already see where it's starting. So, let's get into it.
Just Monica. Just Monica.
Uh-huh.
Just
Uh-huh.
Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica.
Oh my gosh.
Just Monica. Just Monica. Just Monica.
Oh.
So last time we began covering the creepy hidden mystery of
You should not have deleted me. I am still here, and I still want my Yuri. Long time.
Nice. Nice creepy intro.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, and my apologies for any technical difficulties we may be having during this series. So in part one of this theory, we started to unearth a horror game hidden underneath the cute facade that is Doki Doki Literature Club. We found a letter hidden in plain sight alluding to human experiments and cults. All
Well, okay, I'm gonna have to
topics
watch
appear
that
in
one.
Yuri's book, The Portrait of Markov, a book that just so happens to have a mysterious eye on the cover. This all led me to concoct a theory that the 4 girls from the club are actually characters from another game. A horror game, in fact, being produced by Team Salvato, and that this is the reason that Monika turned sentient in Doki Doki. Her AI isn't meant to be contained in a mere visual novel game. But today is where things really start to go off the rails as we dive deeper into the Portrait of Markov mystery and cover the game within this game that's itself hiding a third game.
What
Oh
the
yeah,
hell?
and by the way, if you thought Monika was bad, well then, you should start getting really scared of Yuri.
Ooh,
As you'll know if you
Yuri.
finish the game,
So I
the
turned down
character
the
files in the game's
that video a little
directory
bit.
play a huge role in the plot. Monika manipulates and deletes them one by one in
Uh-huh.
a quest to make you love her. And ultimately, you have to delete Monika's file in order to reach the game's true ending.
Right, right.
There's more in these files than just character information. Each of them is a puzzle in and of themselves, left in the game to be solved by the fans. And 2
Really?
fans of DDLC in particular stepped up to the challenge. Reddit users MitHost and WarChamp7 dug deep into these files and uncovered their secrets.
I know
Posting their
WarChamp.
findings to the R Visual Novels
Isn't he like Team
subreddit.
AVO?
The lore bits they uncovered broke the Portrait of Markov mystery wide open. So the character files on your computer start as .chr files, which
Right.
isn't a real file format that programs can recognize.
Sure.
That doesn't mean you can't open them. If you use a text editor like Notepad, you can absolutely see what's inside, and that's exactly what they did. With the
Okay.
text inside each file giving them clues as to what they should be doing next. Yuri's something about this visual novel makes me go through puberty. Yuri's file was the easiest.
Nice editing.
It started as a bunch of random letters and numbers, but that pile of letter vomit was actually text encoded in base 64.
Ah.
It's a coding technique that converts binary data into text, specifically ASCII text, the same stuff that Bob built his army using a few
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
That
right.
may sound like it's really hard to decode, but all you have to do is copy it and paste it into a base 64 decoder, like this one right here. When you decrypt Yuri's file, you'll see that it's actually a short story.
Really?
Pasta, which the game's director Dan Salvato confirmed that he wrote over 2 years ago and just stuck in the game as an Easter egg. It's a spooky story to be sure, but it seems to be just that, an Easter egg. A red herring. It is nothing compared to everything else hidden in these other character files.
Okay.
Mitsuki's file came next, which, when opened in a text editor, gave the clue that this should be opened as a PNG file. Changing the extension resulted in this odd discolored image.
What the hell?
Anyone who's had some experience playing around with Photoshop, this color scheme may remind you of what happens when you invert the colors on a picture.
Right,
It
yeah.
produces those signature blues and grays. So reversing that inversion, the picture suddenly starts to look like a real picture. And not just any sort of picture, a face. Rotate the image and wrap that texture around a 3D cone, then look at the cone from above, and it turns into an image of a mysterious blonde woman with faded out eyes. This one doesn't resemble any of the other characters in the game,
Yeah.
or anyone talked about by him. So perhaps then she's a character from the other game being developed by Team Salvato. Maybe it's Alyssa, the girl suffering the strange illness that we heard mentioned in the letter found in the last episode.
Alyssa.
Monika's character file, when converted into a PNG, turns out to be an image of a ring with a square of black and white static in the middle. But that's not just any static, it's a QR code.
Ooh.
Was what I initially thought, but nope, it's actually way more complicated than
Oh,
that.
okay. okay.
And
All right.
huge compliments to the guys on Reddit for solving this one. It's actually binary. Computer language. It's a bunch of ones and zeros. where
Really?
One number is represented by the color black, and the other number is represented by the color white. So, what Midhost did was to take those black and white pixels and convert them line by line into strings of binary. Then convert
Brilliant.
that binary sequence into alphanumeric text using an online converter, which resulted in yet another pile of letters and numbers.
Another thing to
These are
decode.
Starting to look a bit more familiar, right? It's more
Base 64, yeah.
which, when converted, reveals a note that really starts to bring all this together.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Whoa.
Who are you? I can't see you, but I know you're there. Yeah, you can definitely hear me.
That's her voice
Watched me
actor.
For a while now, right? I guess I should introduce myself or something. My name is... Actually, that's stupid. You obviously already know my name.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm guessing if you were able to put a stop to this, you would have done it by now. I mean, I know you're not, like, evil or anything, because you've already helped me so much. I really should thank you for that. For everything you've done. You're really like a friend to me. So, thank you. So much. I think more than anything else, I really don't want it all to be for nothing. Everyone else is dead.
Whoa.
You already know that. I'm sure you do, actually. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? Well, there's a lot of stuff I don't
Everyone's already
understand. I
dead.
don't even know if it's possible for me to understand it, but I know that this isn't my only story. I can see that now, really clearly. And I think everyone else has had that same kind of experience. Some kind of deja vu. It's the third eye, right? Anyway, I could be totally wrong about
The
this.
third
I
eye.
think you might be able to do something. I think you might be able to go back, or however you want to put it, to go back and tell them what's going to happen. If they know ahead of time, then they should be able to avoid
Whoa.
it. They should. If they remember their time with me in the other worlds, they should.
Oh, we're
remember
getting
my
real
time.
getting into the
I really
timelines.
think this might be possible, but it's up to you. I'm sorry for always being so, never
Uh-huh.
mind. I know that's wrong. This is my story. It's time to be an epic hero. Both of us. 2018.
2018.
Wow, that is a lot to unpack, so let's get to it. First, it seems pretty clear that this was written by Monika, as evidenced by the
Of course.
"You've been watching me for a while now, and you already know my name."
Did they get the
line.
voice actor to do that for this
After
video?
Doki Doki's true ending, where she destroys
That's
the
cool.
game. Notice how she comments that there's something you as a player can't stop, something that's killed everyone else, which is why she destroyed the game in the first place. But now come the bizarre parts. She says that she's experienced some sort of deja vu and that this isn't her only story. So
Yeah.
the idea that she's coming from somewhere else, perhaps once again a different game. And it's not just one either, it's all four of them. Quote, everyone else has had the same kind of experience. What's most exciting though is her suggesting that perhaps we as the player can, quote, go back and tell them what's going to happen. If they know ahead of time, they should be able to avoid it. Meaning that we're going to be tasked with trying to jog their memories, or that in this new game there'll be some sort of Easter egg calling back to the events of Doki Doki. Quote, if they remember their time with me in other worlds. Other worlds, like other games that these characters have been used in. That maybe we can do something in these other
How old is
games
this
with
video?
other worlds and prevent
Has that game
Doki
come out?
from ever happening in the first place. And the conclusion is pretty much the most blatant. Team Salvato has another game coming in 2018, and in
Oh,
this game,
shit.
Monika isn't the villain, she's the hero. Of everything in Monika's letter, though, one reference in particular really stands out, blaming this deja vu on what she calls...
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up, but let me just finish watching this.
Monika either. This third eye is hidden throughout your time with the literature club. During Act 2, you're always given 2 regular poems. Once the game starts to break, the first poem that Netsuki gives you is a string of random letters and numbers, which at this point, we're old pros at decoding. At base 64, the text reveals a creepy hidden poem titled
Ooh.
Open Your Third Eye, which describes the narrator taking pleasure in stabbing someone to death. The second poem that Yuri gives you seems, at first glance, to be a huge block of random words.
It does.
But hidden in plain sight at the end of it is another ominous passage that describes a compulsive stabbing and concludes with the line, quote, the lust continues to linger through my veins. An ache in my muscles stems from the unreleased tension experienced by my entire body. Her
Third eye
is
again.
drawing me
What is
closer.
this third eye?
3 characters now who've brought up this third eye. The same eye that happens to be described on the cover of the portrait of Markov. And remember
Ooh.
what Yuri said about the plot of the book last episode. All the people trapped in the human experiments at the religious camp have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood.
Wow.
That trait is undeniably the third eye. All of this, points to Team Salvato's new game being about human experimentation, researching a psychic phenomenon that invokes uncontrollable bloodlust in the people exposed to it. Which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle, Sayori's character file,
Okay.
which is by far the trickiest to decipher.
Really?
In order to unlock its secrets, you need to convert it into an OGG audio file, which sounds like a
What?
random noise at first. But when you open that audio in a visualizer program and then apply a spectrograph to that visualization, you reveal a QR code that
Oh my gosh.
takes you to the website projectlibitina.com. Whew, that is a ton of work just to reach a page of plain text. But the information contained within that text
Wow.
is eye-opening. Third eye-opening, that is.
Yeah, it looks like.
Report dated January 5th, 2004, which describes horrifying experiments being
Yeah.
performed on a 3-year-old
Holy
psychic girl with the
wow.
first name Libitina. Her last name is left blank. Another blank name appears at the bottom of the page. Another subject who was terminated earlier. Based on the context of the redacted poem we covered last episode, it's my guess that this girl is Alyssa. Even the number of letters in Alyssa match the number of redacted
It does.
name. That's far from the only parallel to the portrait of Markov that we see here, though. A note to the head doctor at the bottom of the page reads, quote, "You are choosing to avoid the measures necessary to prevent a repeat scenario, Doctor. Will you not have as much faith in your personnel as you do in your god?" End quote. Yuri says that the book is set in a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison, which lines up pretty well with this mysterious doctor's reported devotion to a god of some kind, and the redacted poem's allusion to joining this mysterious family. Judging from the various notes on this webpage, the tests performed on the 3-year-old were all about activating Libitina's third eye. That
Yeah.
lust for blood, which proves successful.
So I'm trying to move my legs because I've been sitting for a
based
while.
on the failed test results, Libitina is then unable to suppress. But not only are we getting more and more clues as to the next game Team Salvato is working on, we're actually seeing exactly how our favorite club mates are gonna fit into the story. Because I am confident 3-year-old Libitina.
Did that
grows
game
up
come
to
out? I
be
just
one
don't
of the
know.
girls we see
I'm
in
curious how this
the
turned
Hero
out.
Club. And what's more, I can prove exactly which one it is. Libitina is a 3-year-old, and her height and weight are both average for her age, so there's not much to go on there. But if we look a bit further down the page, we see a list of noted behaviors that the researchers say should be ignored in future examinations. Twitching, vocal tics, biting, epiphoria, vomiting, screaming,
Yuri.
harm to examiner, harm to self, misplaced laughter. There's one character who we see display almost all of these traits during Doki Doki literature, particularly in that second act, Yuri. Once the game bugs out, Yuri's dialogue becomes the most erratic. We repeatedly see her eyes twitching when she talks to us, she screams a fair bit, laughs erratically at a few points, and that bit about self-harm? Hell, I don't think I need to explain that one. But these aren't the only clues that we have to go on. There are 2 more things that absolutely confirm that Yuri is Libitina. The first is her age. Libitina was born January 5th, 2001, which would make her 17 years old in 2018, the year that Project Libitina is set to release. As the only member of the literature club in senior year, Yuri is the only one of the girls in the right age range to be Libitina. But there's also one more piece of crucial evidence that absolutely clinches this theory, and the evidence isn't found in the game itself, or even in its data, or a random hidden webpage, but rather in the Doki Doki Literature Club merchandise store.
What
the
fuck?
Guy is hiding clues in more places than Scott Cawthon. Team
That is
Salvato
insane.
might not be offering
Dude.
much in terms of merch items, but the few items that are present reveal some very interesting
Are you
details.
kidding me?
So let's look at the posters. 4 of them are simply CG of each girl taken straight from the game. Nothing too exciting there. Another 4 are creepy original artwork featuring iconic quotes from the characters. Between all of these, there's this running motif of the girls being tied up in a red string. Even Monika has a bow wrapped around her, but Yuri doesn't seem to possess these strings. In fact, all of the red strings seem to be emerging from her, from her heart, from this flower, whatever this is, ensnaring all the other girls, and illusion to Libitina's psychic influence over everyone else. But if that doesn't convince you, there are 2 more posters for sale featuring original artwork. One of these is a surprisingly cute picture of Monika handing you the song she sings you at the end of the game. It's cute. It's very cute. The last poster, called Yuri Unhinged, is a bit different.
Okay.
Ooh,
Ooh, you see the eye?
Different from anything else in the game or on the site. It shows the quiet bookworm Yuri sitting in the classroom at sunset, toying with a knife. For someone unhinged, her posture seems oddly relaxed.
Uh-huh.
Confident. In fact, it's the most confident we've ever seen her. Like she's
Yeah.
in full control of the situation. And behind her, we see all sorts of ominous text scrawled on the blackboard.
Uh-huh.
To her right, we see a poster. A poster with a big ol' Illuminati confirmed eye in the middle and the words, "Help me," scribbled along the top. This is the third eye, Yuri's third eye, and this is the only artwork where we see it depicted.
I didn't
Illuminati
expect any of
confirmed,
this,
Yuri
by the
is
way.
Libitina confirmed. Doki
How
Doki
could I?
Literature Club
This is
isn't just a
crazy.
free game made to promote Team Salvato's upcoming horror title. It's a part of Project Libitina. Monika is the upcoming game's protagonist, while Yuri is the monster at the center of the story.
Yo.
Libitina herself. This is why Yuri was so attached to the Portrait of Markov's story. It is her story.
Wow.
And the disconnect from being put in the wrong game is the reason that Monika becomes self-aware. But hey, that's
Just the. Uh-huh. Wow. Good video. I'm curious now what the other video is. Yeah. Let me see.
Oh, no way, it's
Okay. Let's watch the biggest monsters hiding in plain sight. I'm actually gonna stretch really quickly. Hold on. Remember, if you're gaming for a long period of time or just sitting for a while, stretch every now and then. Please. It's good for you. Alright, let's see what scariest monster is hiding in plain sight.
Oh, no way, a text message. Who's it from? Oh, Jacksepticeye, how sweet. And there's a picture? Wait, that's not how I wrote this gag. Another one. What's going on here? Wait. What the heck? Steph! Steph, are you pranking me?
You promised you'd spend time with me, Matt. Me. And only me. 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 Now let's make a theory together.
I love that they seemingly got a voice actor for this. Of course, that is insane. That's so cool. Oh, it's glitching. Uh-huh.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where it's our goal to systematically prove that everything in your life is secretly terrifying. Over the
Indeed.
years, we've made you fear public Wi-Fi, minimum wage jobs, and even the house next door. But today, we're gonna talk about a game that'll make you stop trusting the very computer you're using to watch this video.
Uh-huh.
Unless you're part of the 75% of users who watch this show on a tablet, phone, console, or TV. In which case, just pretend you're scared too. Okay? Okay. Looking
You
at
got
the
me,
Steam
buddy.
Store page, Doki Doki Literature Club seems harmless enough. A cutesy, pastel-tinged dating sim starring 4 adorable waifus, as the kids say, all of whom you
Fellow
can buy your
kids.
hand at wooing for the low, low price of free. But look a little closer and it quickly becomes clear that this game isn't the fun, light-hearted visual novel that it makes itself out to be. For starters, the top tag on the Steam Store page is psychological horror, which makes it seem misclassified. And at the bottom of the game's description, which is a cute little greeting note from the Literature Club's president Monika, you'll find a very stern warning in bold letters. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. And in case you missed that one, the game greets you with that message yet again as you boot it up. One final reminder that this isn't meant for the faint of heart.
Uh-huh.
It seems
They
like
tell
a
you up
joke,
front.
right? But let me assure you, it is no joke. So in that spirit, this is your last chance to stop watching this video before I spoil the heck out of it. It is without exaggeration
We're there now.
the best written, most surprising game stories of this year, even if it takes about 2 hours of fairly slow-paced visual novel action before you get to the really good stuff.
True,
Play it
true.
yourself, you're not going to regret it, or just
It's cute,
watch
though.
our highlight playthroughs on GT Live. You'll get the point. Okay, so if you're still here after that and you haven't played the game or watched our GT Live playthrough, which I'm sure is still a lot of you, let me give you a quick rundown. During your first playthrough, Doki Doki Literature Club seems like a normal visual novel with a pretty neat mechanic of composing poems in order to woo the various girls in the club. Your childhood friend Sayori, quiet bookish Yuri, and young aggressive Natsuki. But at the end of your first run, strange things begin happening. It all starts when Sayori succumbs to her depression and commits suicide. Soon after, she's deleted from the story entirely, and you're kicked back to the title screen. Something is clearly not right this time. As you replay the game, the world begins breaking apart as it tries to move forward without Sayori in it. Eventually, you discover that the club's president, Monika, has become self-aware within the game and is manipulating the game's code, even files on your very computer in a desperate attempt to make you, the player, love her. When nothing else works, she deletes everything else in the game, leaving just Monika. Just Monika and you in the club room with nothing to do but talk. Forever. At least until you do what she did to the other characters and delete her character file in order to save everyone else and reach the true ending. Doki Doki Literature Club intentionally leaves a lot dangling for gamers to figure out on their own, but out of all of it, one question
I hate what you
has
did there.
bugged me nonstop since I finished playing it. What is the story behind Monika? The game presents her as simply being a character in a visual novel who suddenly becomes self-aware, but all of that doesn't quite add up. The way DDLC is designed, the way that Monika manipulates it, and the things that she says in her extended conversation with you all hint that there's something much more sinister going on with her.
Yeah.
That is the theory for today. That's right, dear theorists. The hidden truth of Doki Doki Literature Club is that Monika is from a different game. Monika is Flo,
There it is.
who also happens to be Porky from Earthbound, who's really the purple guy from FNAF. Sorry, the rest of the Theorist team just pulled me aside for a quick intervention. Apparently I'm banned from making any links between this game and Undertale. Or any game.
Thank you.
Really, I'm not allowed to touch Undertale anymore. But in all seriousness, Monika is from a different game. And not just Monika either. Doki Doki has a lot more to it than first meets the eye, even once you make it through the main story. Because the ending isn't even the ending. When you restart the game after deleting Monika, Sayori assumes the role of club president now, and things are pretty normal until the end of the first day when you get perhaps the biggest twist of them all. Sayori now is self-aware, expressing the exact same desire to hoard you to herself that Monika did. So there's gotta be something that at least Monika and Sayori have in common, and possibly the other girls as well, that's making all of this possible. See, there's something about the way Doki Doki Literature Club is designed that doesn't quite add up. Throughout your second playthrough, Monika reveals that she's been manipulating events behind the scenes the whole time, that she's been messing with Yuri, Natsuki, and Sayori's character files by amplifying their worst traits so that you'll like them less and you'll like her more. That's why Yuri goes from being a little bit clingy to being self-harming and obsessive, why Natsuki goes from being flirty mean to just being a plain old jerk, and why Sayori goes from being mildly depressed to suicidal in the span of a few days. These are all the consequences of Monika haphazardly adjusting their character parameters behind the scenes, but hold on a second. That might seem to make sense on the surface, but if you actually stop and think about it, that's not really how visual novels work at all. Visual novel characters aren't AI-based. Their behavior is determined entirely by what's written in the game's script. The game's dialogue script, not programming script. I can see how that gets confusing. There's simply no need for a character in a dating sim to have complicated behaviors like this. But what if they were created for a more complex game? What if the characters in Doki Doki Literature Club were intended to be used in a different game altogether? One where they would need to have more complex, believable responses to a greater range of player choice? What if their assets were simply repurposed from that game in order to make this dating sim? It's not just speculation.
I'm gonna look up this other game after this is over. See if it came out.
Central mechanic, the poems. begins. Over the course of the first act, you read poems from all the other club members, which seems pretty innocent. Sure, reading between the lines, you can start to get hints that Sayori is depressed, that Yuri is prone to self-harm, and that Natsuki is being abused by her father, but it's nothing overt. In the game's second act, you're given 3 randomly selected special poems out of a possible 11 that makes these hints much more overt. But there's one of these poems in particular that really stands out. A huge block of redacted text with only a few letters left visible, spelling out the question. That would be unsettling enough on its own, but if there's one thing Scott Cawthon has trained me to do, it's to run dark images through Photoshop and play around with sliders. Crank up the exposure on that image all the way to max capacity, suddenly it becomes possible to read the full text, and man, it is weird. Irregular heartbeat, heart palpitations, arrhythmia. I search and search, eyes scanning everything I can find on their symptoms. What is this? Shortness of breath? Chest pain? Dizziness? No, this is all wrong. Alyssa's symptoms are nowhere near.
And there it is. Yeah, I watch these videos in reverse, but I see now.
Sickeningly pale skin, vomiting blood. There is no other explanation.
The experiments.
Other than that Renier's information was a complete and utter lie. This can't all be coincidence. It's not possible. I don't know how much of this Renier is behind, but I do know this. There is something horribly wrong with this family, and I accepted the invitation to become a part of it. I can hear Alyssa's screams through the walls now. I listen helplessly. Renier said he would be with her shortly. Is he in her room now? Why is she screaming even louder than before? Chilling, right? This creepy letter
Alicia is Yuri.
right in front of your face.
Allegedly.
This game. And what's it all mean? Well, those opening lines make it sound like someone who's trying to identify an illness. A regular heartbeat, heart palpitations, arrhythmia are all possible problems of the heart, so it's not so much this person is making a diagnosis, but rather it's someone trying to read the symptoms he's seeing and figure out what the diagnosis is. It's a clinical assessment, which means that the speaker is a doctor of some kind. And notice the words he uses. Their symptoms. It's an illness affecting multiple people, a family. As we see later in the letter,
Right.
a family that apparently you can join, almost like a cult. It's also worth noting that this doctor who's speaking has some degree of detachment from this girl Alyssa, almost like she's a research subject of some kind, possibly part of a human experiment. And when you put all this together, a cult performing experiments on young girls, it starts sounding familiar. We hear about human experiments exactly 2 times in Doki Doki Literature Club, both times when Yuri describes the plot of The Portrait of Markov, the book that she wants to read with us. A book which has a, quote, ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. In the first act, Yuri makes it sound relatively innocent enough. Quote, basically it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison.
Wow.
While her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. End quote. In the second act, Yuri's personality gets a bit more unhinged, and she gives us a creepier
I was in a
description
way
of
more
what's
description.
actually going on these pages. Quote again. Basically, it's about this religious camp that's turned into a human experiment prison. All the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to, and then she cuts off. That's a lot of information. For
That
a
is
fake book,
sounds very fucked.
especially when you compare it to what we learn about Natsuki's favorite manga. And that's because what Yuri tells us about the Portrait of Markov isn't just a short snippet of text meant to create the illusion of a bigger story. It is the bigger story here. It's the plot of the horror game that Team Salvato is working on. The game that all 4 of these characters originate from. And if you think I'm done, oh no, we have just scratched the surface. We can dig deeper to uncover more about this horror game, including its title and release date, as well as how these 4 girls fit into the overall story, because Team Salvato left a whole ARG's worth of content hidden in Doki Doki's game files.
Pretty
If you
much.
thought that the
Holy
Literature
shit.
Club was interesting before, simply because it had these cool meta moments and jump scares, well, get ready. There's a whole other game here, just resting underneath the surface, waiting to be puzzled together. That'll start to make you really question everything you thought you knew about Sayori, Natsuki, Monika, and especially Yuri. But it's all way too much to cover in this one video, so ring the bell to subscribe, help us get
Well, there you go, and we
closer to
saw him
giveaway
cover
so
it
that
in another
way
one.
You can know when later this week, yeah, should be just a couple days, when part 2 comes out and things start to get really crazy. I am already excited for this new game.
All right, so here's what I need to do now. I need to see if this game came out. Dan Salvato Project Libitina. Okay, what comes up is tweets from Dan. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything ever came of that. Oh, Dan streams. That's so cool. I know he makes Mario Maker levels too, which is cool. I remember watching Game Grumps and them mentioning that. I think it was Game Grumps. Also, Dan, oh yeah, he made that game where you have to like glitch into the blocks and it shoots you. Not the game, the level. I remember seeing that level. That's where I heard it. Um, yeah, I guess nothing has come of that yet. If it is, but it's very interesting. It's very cool. If anyone has any information on that, I see the official site here. For Team Salvato, but yeah, I guess that's it for now. So there you go. The game within the game, apparently from a whole different horror game, is what's been deduced. I mean, judging from what they found in the decoding the text and converting to images and doing the 3D like image of within that's like a whole different character. Like that's it's ridiculous, man. The amount of detail within the game's files is insane. Even more so than I thought, especially like the fact that it's just something entirely different, not even just within the meta of the game itself. That's there you go, man. So I guess that's it for Doki Doki, man. I had a really interesting experience with it. It's definitely the most intense kind of experience I've had playing a game all the way through because I don't play horror games. I really don't. It's just not my thing. I don't really do it often or ever. I don't think I've ever finished a horror game. I started Corpse Party at once upon a time, and yes, that one horrified me. Maybe I can do that one again. It's been a few years since I played it, but yeah, yeah. It's I really like the characters. I like Monika a lot more now, even though she's the most like divisive one, even though she like pseudo deletes everyone and twists the game. And but this theory that she's a protagonist from another game that became self-aware in their situation, that's insane. And that Yuri's actually it's so, and within the game's merchandise where it seems like Yuri's like the fact that she's like that's so strange, but it's so cool. Is I really hope something eventually comes of that. If it hasn't by now, it doesn't seem like it has. So that's it. That's a game. A game finished, completed. I'll probably be looking up let's plays now. I can indulge in other people's suffering now. So there you go. Yeah, and probably look up little Easter egg things. I'm sure there's other cool things you can do with the files. Like I was curious about deleting people's character files before you even start a new game. What that would do, right? Hmm. Yeah. So I'll probably look up some things about that, if not try them myself. So thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who wanted to see this. I'm happy that I was finally able to make it happen, and more importantly, finish it. Maybe we can do another spooky game for Halloween, but yeah, we'll see, man. Either way, thank you so much for watching this Let's Play, and see you in the next one. Peace.